Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Training your mind like a warrior isn't for the faint of heart. It's not for those who want to take the easy route, avoid discomfort, or look for shortcuts. This is about becoming a beast in your own mind, a mindset so fierce and unbreakable that nothing will stand in your way. Let's start with the foundation: discipline. You think warriors are born with strength? No. They train their minds every damn day in, day out. They endure the pain, the fatigue, the frustration, because they know that only through consistent effort can they sharpen their mental edge. When you wake up, you don't just let life happen to you. You make it happen. Mental discipline is about putting in the work when no one's watching, when the world is asleep, when you could easily hit the snooze button. It's the ability to push past the excuses. You want to know why most people fail? They're undisciplined. They let their mind wander and their emotions take the wheel. But not you. Not if you want to be a warrior. And speaking of pushing past the easy road, let's talk about pain. Embrace the pain of growth. It's not a weakness, it's your greatest weapon. Every warrior knows that the battlefield is never kind. It's not supposed to be. Pain is how you grow stronger, how you refine your skills. You think a warrior becomes a legend by sitting on the sidelines? Hell no. They embrace the struggle, face the challenges head on, and learn to thrive in the chaos. Growth isn't comfortable. If it were, everybody would do it. But most won't. They run from pain, and that's why they remain weak. You face it, you embrace it. Because you understand something, they fear the discomfort, but you use it as fuel. Now, let's get to the heart of it, folks. You cannot afford to be distracted. A warrior doesn't wander in the battlefield with no aim. His mission is clear. And your mission needs to be clear too. If you're not laser focused on where you're going, then you'll get lost in the noise and the distractions. You'll end up like the rest, wandering aimlessly, chasing fleeting moments of pleasure and excitement, but never building anything of true substance. You must be ruthless in your focus. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your goals. You owe them results. Stay focused. Block out the nonsense. The mission is your only priority. Resilience, this is where most people crumble. They fail once and they quit. They lose a battle and they give up the war. But not warriors. We all face adversity, setbacks, failures, but it's how you respond that matters. Every time you fall, you get back up. Every time life punches you in the gut, you rise stronger. The warrior mindset doesn't allow for failure to define them. It's about getting knocked down, getting right back up, and coming back harder than before. You want to succeed? Build that mental resilience, because life will test you. It'll hit you when you least expect it, but you won't break. You will adapt. You will overcome. Now, let's talk about confidence, real confidence, not the fake kind. People talk a big game, but the warrior knows that confidence isn't built by talking. It's built by doing. Confidence doesn't come from patting yourself on the back every time you get out of bed. It comes from accomplishing what you said you would. It's the result of your actions, not your words. A warrior doesn't need to talk about his accomplishments. His actions speak louder than any boast. You want confidence? Get to work. Prove it through results, not rhetoric. Finally, the most important thing you must master is your own mind. You see, every warrior faces external battles, but the greatest battle is always within. It's the battle against your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. You cannot be a warrior if you're ruled by your emotions, if you're swayed by the opinions of others. Master your own mind. Train yourself to stay calm under pressure. Train yourself to think clearly when everything around you is chaos. This is the key to becoming a true warrior, being unshakable, untouchable, because you control what goes on in your head. You want to be successful? You want to be a force in this world? Then train your mind like a warrior. Endure the pain. Stay focused. Be resilient. Speak less. Act more. And master your own mind, because the world out there is ruthless. And if you're not mentally prepared, it will eat you alive. But if you're sharp, if you're disciplined, and if you're unbreakable, nothing will stop you. You'll rise to the top, and no one will be able to touch you. So get to work. Your mind is your most powerful weapon. Make it a weapon no one can ever defeat. The power of mental discipline is something most people overlook, but let me tell you, it's the very foundation of success. You want to know why most people fail? It's because they lack the mental discipline to push through when things get tough. They get distracted, they give in to comfort, they let emotions take the wheel. But those who understand the true value of mental discipline, those are the ones who win. Those are the warriors who get ahead, the ones who make it when everyone else falls off. You think this is a game? No. This is war, and the battlefield is your mind. Mental discipline isn't about just showing up. It's about showing up day after day, doing the hard work when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, when everyone else is taking the easy route. It's about making the tough choices that others won't make. Because you understand that greatness doesn't come from what's easy. It comes from consistency, from pushing yourself beyond the limits you thought you had, from outworking everyone else. You don't just wake up and feel disciplined. No, you wake up and make the decision to be disciplined. You choose it every single day. Think about the greatest warriors throughout history. Do you think they became legends by sitting back, waiting for things to happen? Hell no. They understood that mental discipline is what separates the winners from the losers. It's what separates the men from the boys. It's what separates the warriors from the civilians. Every single day they made the choice to train, to prepare, to fight, to get better. And that decision, repeated over and over, day in and day out, is what made them great. They didn't wait for motivation, they created it. They built their mental discipline one small, deliberate action at a time. Let's be real, life doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're discouraged, if you're frustrated. Life keeps moving. The world keeps spinning. The people who are going to succeed are the ones who understand that mental discipline is the only thing that matters when the going gets tough. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's not about waiting for a mood to strike you, it's about showing up no matter what. You think success is for the lucky or the chosen few? No, it's for the disciplined. It's for those who can push through the pain, ignore the distractions, and keep their eyes fixed on the goal. It's for the warriors who know that every single day is an opportunity to be better than they were yesterday. It's the people who don't quit when they hit a setback, who don't throw in the towel when things get hard. It's the ones who embrace the grind and keep going, even when it feels like they're running on empty. So let me ask you, where's your mental discipline? When things get tough, are you going to break or are you going to push through? Are you going to be one of the masses who talk a big game but never put in the work? Or are you going to train your mind like a warrior, choosing to do the hard thing when everyone else takes the easy way out? The power of mental discipline is in your hands. It's your choice. What are you going to do with it? The difference between success and failure, between greatness and mediocrity, lies in your ability to stay disciplined when everything else is telling you to quit. That's where the power is. That's what makes you a warrior. So if you're ready to rise, if you're ready to dominate, start with this: train your mind like a warrior. Embrace the pain of growth. I want you to understand something. This isn't just some motivational phrase you see on Instagram or read in a book. This is reality. This is the foundation of success, the secret behind every warrior who has ever stepped onto the battlefield of life and come out victorious. Growth isn't pretty. It isn't comfortable. It doesn't come wrapped in a shiny bow. It's messy, brutal, and most of the time it's painful. And that's exactly why so many people refuse to embrace it. They run from it. They avoid the struggle. But the truth is, the pain is the very thing that forges you into something better. Pain is the furnace where the weak are burned away and the strong are born. When you push yourself beyond your limits, when you feel your muscles burning, when your mind is screaming at you to stop, you're not being defeated. You're being transformed. Every moment of discomfort, every ounce of struggle is a lesson. It's teaching you resilience. It's teaching you how to push past your doubts, your fears, and your limitations. The ones who succeed, the ones who rise to the top, are the ones who don't back down when the pain hits. They lean into it. They use it as fuel. They know that without this pain, without these moments of struggle, they'll never reach their full potential. They'll stay stuck in mediocrity, just like everyone else. But you're not like everyone else. You're not here to play small. You're not here to coast through life and hope things just magically fall into place. No, you're here to become a force. And that force is built through hardship. Every time you face a challenge, you have two choices. You can quit or you can embrace it. The easy choice is to walk away, to take the comfortable route, to avoid discomfort. But that's not the warrior's way. The warrior knows that in order to grow, to truly elevate himself, he has to take on more weight. He has to endure the tough times. He has to welcome the challenge. Do you think the greats, the ones who've accomplished the unimaginable, did so without struggle? Do you think they achieved greatness by taking the easy road? Hell no, they bled. They cried. They failed. But they didn't stay down. Every failure was a lesson. Every struggle was a step forward. They didn't back away from the pain, they attacked it. They understood that growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It happens when you're uncomfortable. It happens when you're tested, when you're pushed to your absolute limit. That's when you truly discover what you're made of. Think about it. Every warrior in history, every legend had to fight their way to the top. They didn't just get handed their power, their success, their glory. They had to earn it. And they earned it through suffering. They embraced the pain because they understood that without it, they'd never become who they were meant to be. Without it, they'd stay just like everyone else, weak, undisciplined, stuck in the same place, never moving forward. So I ask you this, what are you going to do when the pain comes for you? Are you going to shy away, looking for an escape? Or are you going to stand tall, stare that pain in the face and say, I welcome you? Because that's the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who fade into mediocrity. It's all in how you handle the pain. You have to embrace it. You have to let it teach you, mold you, and shape you. You have to be willing to face it, knowing that every drop of sweat, every tear, every failure will turn into the strength you need to rise higher. This journey isn't for the faint of heart. It's not for those who want to stay comfortable, who want to avoid the grind. If that's what you're after, then you're in the wrong place. But if you want to become something unstoppable, if you want to build a life that no one can take from you, then you have to embrace the pain. You have to love it. Because without it, you won't grow. You won't be strong. And you won't be a warrior. So go ahead, step into the pain. Step into the discomfort. Welcome it. Embrace it. Because on the other side of that pain is a version of yourself that you can't even begin to imagine. And trust me, it's worth every second of suffering. Unbreakable focus isn't just a skill, it's a mindset. It's the difference between those who make it and those who fade into the background. You need to understand one thing: distractions are the enemy. The moment you start letting outside noise dictate your energy, you're already losing The world is filled with distractions, people, temptations, random thoughts all trying to steal your attention. And if you let them, they will. Your goals, your success, they're not going to just fall into your lap. You have to stay sharp. You have to stay sharp. You have to stay focused on your mission with a laser-like intensity. If you're not able to shut out the noise and zero in on what's important, you're never going to win. This is the harsh truth. There are a million things trying to pull you off course. Some will come in the form of others telling you what you should or shouldn't do. Some will come from your own self-doubt creeping in, trying to convince you that maybe you're not cut out for the fight. And the rest will be the ordinary distractions of life, the distractions that make you feel comfortable, that make you feel safe, but ultimately rob you of your potential. But here's what separates the great from the mediocre warriors. Know that focus isn't something you just have. It's something you build. It's something you forge through consistent, deliberate action. And that means it doesn't come easy. You have to train for it, just like you train your body in the gym. Focus is a muscle. And like any muscle, if you don't use it, it will weaken. If you don't exercise it, it'll become a burden instead of a tool. Think about a warrior heading into battle. His mind is fixed on one thing: victory. He's not distracted by the sound of the wind, the noise from the enemy, or the fear in his gut. No, his focus is on the task at hand, complete the mission. Learn and win the battle. Everything else is irrelevant. That same level of focus is what you need in life. You're not just walking through life on autopilot, hoping things will work out. No, you've got a mission, you've got a purpose, you've got an end goal. And the only way you're going to reach it is by keeping your eyes locked on that target, no matter what. You can't afford to drift. You can't afford to get distracted. One moment of inattention can cost you everything. But what happens when you get focused? The world around you starts to blur. Your vision becomes clearer. Your actions become sharper. Every move you make, every step you take is intentional. Every moment is an opportunity, and you don't waste it. People who have unbreakable focus don't need to be told to stay on course. They don't need a motivational speech to get them moving. They've already made that commitment to themselves. They don't waste their time with things that don't align with their goals. That's how they get ahead. That's how they become unstoppable. When you've got focus, you see opportunities others miss. You notice the little details that will move you forward. You know that every single action you take is either getting you closer to your dream or dragging you further away. And you're not willing to let anything pull you away from that mission, not fear, not laziness, not anyone or anything trying to tell you to settle. You rise above it all, and you keep your eyes locked on that one thing. It's the only thing that matters. Focus gives you power. It gives you momentum. And it gives you the ability to push through the hardest obstacles. When life throws punches at you, you don't blink. You don't flinch. You don't let anything break your concentration. You keep moving forward one step at a time with your mind completely fixed on the prize. That's the warrior mentality. That's what focus does for you. It makes you unshakable. It makes you unstoppable. And it makes you damn near unbeatable. If you want to succeed, if you want to dominate, you need to be focused. And I'm not talking about the kind of focus where you're momentarily concentrated on something before letting yourself get distracted again. I'm talking about a relentless, unyielding commitment to your mission. Every action, every thought, every decision has to serve that focus. If it doesn't, it's irrelevant. You've got to stay the course no matter what. Because every time you allow yourself to drift, every time you get distracted, you're losing precious ground. Focus is your weapon. And when you wield it properly, nothing can stop you. Mental resilience is the foundation of success. It's the ability to withstand, endure, and rise again in the face of adversity. In this world, you will be tested. Life will hit you hard and it will test your limits. But how you respond to those blows defines who you are and who you will become. The warrior does not fear adversity. He welcomes it because he knows that adversity is the crucible in which he will be forged into something stronger. The battlefield of life is brutal, but it's not the enemy that breaks you, it's how you face the battle. Too many people let failure, setbacks, and challenges crush their spirit. They believe that when things get tough, it's a sign they're not meant for success. But that's the biggest lie you'll ever hear. Failure is not the end, it's the beginning. Every time you fall, you have a choice to stay down or to get up and fight again. Every time life knocks you down, it's an opportunity to come back stronger, wiser, and more determined. If you want to succeed, you must learn to embrace the struggle. Without it, you have nothing. When you face adversity, when everything feels like it's crumbling around you, that's when your true strength is tested. You will question yourself. You will doubt your abilities. But remember, this doubt is temporary, and so is pain. The warrior knows that everything he faces is part of the process. He doesn't run from challenges, he runs toward them with a mindset of determination and grit. He knows that every battle, no matter how brutal, is shaping him into something greater. And you should have that same mindset. What separates the winners from the losers, the warriors from the weak, is resilience. The ability to keep pushing, keep fighting, even when it feels like all is lost. It's about finding that fire within, that unwavering belief that no matter how dark things get, there's always a way forward. Most people quit the moment it gets hard. They tell themselves the fight is too great, the pain too unbearable. But the warrior knows better. The pain is what sharpens him. The obstacles are what make him stronger. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you rise. Every time you face adversity, you have a choice. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can sit there and feel sorry for yourself, or you can stand up, dust yourself off, and say, this is not the end, this is just another step in my journey. A warrior never surrenders to the storm. He stands tall, even when the world is against him, and he fights with everything he has. He knows that the storm will pass, but his resilience will remain. Adversity is not something to fear, it's something to face head on. It's an opportunity to prove to yourself just how strong you are. Every time you get knocked down, it's a chance to rise stronger. Every setback, every failure is a lesson, a stepping stone on the path to greatness. You cannot grow without struggle. You cannot rise without pain. But if you're willing to embrace it, if you're willing to face adversity with the mindset of a warrior, there is nothing you cannot overcome. So when life gets hard, when the challenges come crashing down on you, remember this: it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you rise. The warrior within you never quits. It never gives up. It fights, it endures, and it conquers. Keep moving forward. Keep rising. The world is yours for the taking. Self-confidence doesn't come from words. It doesn't come from the affirmation you post on social media or the praise you hope to get from others. It doesn't come from talking yourself up or waiting for someone to tell you how great you are. No, real confidence, the kind that will carry you through the toughest battles of life, comes from action. It comes from doing what you said you would do, not talking about it or waiting for the perfect moment. Think about it every time you commit to something and follow through. No matter how hard it gets, you are building a foundation of confidence. You're proving to yourself that you can do what you set out to do. You don't need validation from anyone because you've already validated yourself through action. Confidence isn't about pretending or seeking reassurance from others. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing deep down that you're capable because you've already shown it to yourself through what you've accomplished. You want to be confident? Then stop talking about it and start doing. Stop looking for a magic formula or a quick fix. Confidence is earned in the trenches, through the sweat and the grime, through the late nights and the hard decisions. It's about the small, consistent actions you take each day, even when no one's watching, even when it feels like nothing's happening. Those actions build your self-worth. They show you that you're not just a person who dreams big, but a person who makes things happen. Let's be real for a second, talk is cheap. Everyone can talk about how they want to be successful, how they're going to change the world, how they're going to be the best. But how many people actually show up every day and put in the work? How many people are willing to push through the setbacks, the failures, the rejections? How many people are willing to sacrifice, to get up after they've been knocked down and keep going no matter how hard it gets? That's where true confidence is built. Not in the words, but in the actions that follow them. There's nothing more powerful than looking back and knowing you did what you said you would do, even when it felt impossible. That's where your confidence grows. Not from how you talk about your potential, but from how you demonstrate it. It's about taking your plans, your dreams, and turning them into reality. Each step you take toward your goals adds fuel to that fire inside you. And the more steps you take, the more confident you become. Because you're not just imagining success, you're living it. The world doesn't care about your excuses or how good your intentions are. It only cares about results. And when you produce results through action, you don't have to convince anyone that you're capable. People will see it, and more importantly, you will feel it. You'll carry yourself differently because you'll know the truth that you have the power to create your own success, to overcome the obstacles, to push through when it feels like the world is against you. And it's not based on what you say, but on what you do. You have to stop relying on empty words. Stop looking for external validation. Stop waiting for the world to tell you that you're good enough. You've already proven it to yourself with every action you take. So go out there and do what you need to do. No one is going to give you the confidence you need. You've got to build it yourself. And the only way to build it is by taking consistent, purposeful action every single day. Every time you take action, you reinforce the belief that you are capable. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you lay the groundwork for unshakable confidence. That's the only way to earn it. You want to be confident? Then stop talking about it. Start doing. Confidence comes from action, and once you start proving to yourself that you can follow through, you won't need anyone else to tell you your worth. You will know it deep inside because you've earned it through the blood, sweat, and tears of taking action. So let me leave you with this. If you want real self-confidence, stop relying on empty words and start relying on yourself. Your actions are the proof of your strength, your capability, and your resolve. Every day you wake up and take steps toward your goals, no matter how small they seem, you are building something greater than just success. You're building unshakable confidence. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't need validation, the kind that doesn't crumble when challenges arise because it's earned. Understand this confidence is not given, it's earned. It's not based on the opinions of others, it's rooted in the results you produce and the battles you win. So stop talking about the things you want to do and start doing them. Prove to yourself that you are capable of the extraordinary, and in the process, you will become someone who walks with the unshakable belief that nothing can stop them. The world is waiting for you to take action. Now go out and show it what you're made of.